as a woman, you matter. You matter as you are, and you need to remember that gender roles are made up by our society, and that little by little it's our responsibility to make sure that we commit to women empowerment. That's it. Great. So my name is Cecilia. I was born in Paris, France. My parents are Caribbean. And I live in Barcelona. I've been living here for 11 years, and I love it here. I think there's a book that's really interesting that I read. I'm checking on my phone because I want to make sure I pronounce it right. The name of the book is Dear Ijeawele. It's by Chimamanda and Ngozi Adichie. I had the honor with many other people in CCCB to meet her and hear her, and she shared her experience about what she thinks means to be a woman in this society. And the main, there are 15 very strong, powerful suggestions about how we should raise our little girls. And I think it's a great book because it motivates you and it makes you really believe that we matter as women and we can become what we want to, and that slowly but surely we're gonna make it. I think that we're going in the right direction, although we're going very slowly, especially in Europe. But I think people are now more conscious that there has to be a lot more empowerment for women. In the common areas, when you speak with people, you do realize that this is something obvious. But then in the rules and in the laws, you still see that there's a big gap in terms of income, in terms of expectation, and I think it's a little bit more subtle right now, that they don't blatantly say to you you can't do this because you're a woman, but it still exists. So it's getting better, but there's still a lot of work to be done. You usually hear this exotic terms being used for you because you don't correspond to the classical standards of beauty, or sentences as oh, you're cute for a black girl, as in the standard is this, but although you don't comply with this standard, you're still cute. And I know that most of the time it's meant as a compliment, but it actually maintains the white patriarchy standards, and it's actually a problem. So you don't want to be the angry black person, a woman actually, who always wants to deal with all these microaggressions, but they're still here. And I think people are starting to notice that this cannot be. Even in your everyday life, you would be expected to qualify a woman as beautiful or not as beautiful, not necessarily smart. That's not the first thing. You'd be like, que guapa, how cute. Even for little girls, and there's this other book that was mentioning this fact that even to little girls, we, without thinking, we just praise the fact that she has to stand right and be nice, and that's what is expected from her. And this is, for me, a very important point, that even for little kids, doesn't matter whether they're a little girl or a little boy, that we should not expect them to consider beauty as the most important thing in their life. This issue about weight, this is for me the weirdest. This obsession and this focus on how much you should weigh instead of how you would look and how healthy or how strong you can be. This is for me something really strange, that in many circles the weight issue is something to be dealt with. Fashion is a way of expressing yourself and expressing how you feel, and bring this character out to the world, and just make life a bit more interesting and spicy. And it's not about how much the garment will cost. It's more about dedicating some ideas and concept to your style, basically. I do, and I think this is something that's more and more common. We all know about sweatshops and all this industry that's trying to make people consume more and more, knowing that the people who made their clothes maybe earn $1 for a month of work or something like that. So I think we all try to do a part of like acknowledging that this is happening and trying to make sure we don't perpetuate this even more. So what I try to do is maybe get more closer to vintage, because you know that this is something that's been used before. It's usually high quality because it just maintains for years. And yeah, try to also, not only for a matter of style, but a matter of concept, like get away from all these fashion monsters that just steal from small artists their ideas and just put it mainstream. So not only would we all look the same if we just all continue buying to these fashion monsters, but also the quality for one person is a lot better if I think it's vintage or handmade. And also, yeah, for the planet. Those are concepts that I think are important. I have the feeling that this is something key. This is also something that's, in my opinion, is used as a marketing argument for some brands, because they know that everybody is aware that this is the direction we have to go. So I don't know if this is a real part of them being conscious of this issue. So I have also my doubts about some brands.
You mean fast fashion companies that claim that they are green?
Pretending, yeah pretending. So yeah, this is one of the aspects that sometimes I wonder if it's real. They're really going in this direction because it's politically correct to do so, or if they're really conscious of this necessity that we have. And yeah, again, I really think that also we need to train ourselves to make sure how long we think this new item is gonna last, and make sure we just try to be as minimalist as possible. The world in which we live today is a lot. There's a lot more pressure about being into this, what's trendy, what is not. With all this Instagrams and all this who's wearing what, there's like a lot of pressure to be a la ultima, like really into the trend, the latest fashion items. And I think there's a lot, it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. I think there's a lot of pressure right now for many people to be like, you don't own this, you don't have this, you don't. And it's more like a type of resistance, just not focusing on this that much. Obviously you're not completely close to this world because you live in it, and there are things that you just like, and yeah, of course there's no issue with that, but being completely obsessed, and I think this is getting to be an obsession for many, especially younger people. This is for me an issue. The most important thing for us is to come together. Not only like all type of women should come together. It doesn't matter if you were born that way or where you're actually from. That we should really try to come together and really value the sisterhood that we have, and make sure there's no unnecessary competition. And also, I think it's important to leave message to men as well, and make them also feel into their bones this need for women to be empowered.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. You were great.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.